What's going on, everybody? This is segment 2 with Mike Zuber from One Rental at a Time. How's it going, Mike?
Oh, it's going awesome. I look forward to hearing about this update. This foreplay. This is like drama to me. This is week 3
Yeah.
update of what's going on with your 4-3-2-1 student.
Yeah,
So I can't wait to hear.
if I had to name the show, it'd be
Oh.
As My Stomach Turns. You know,
There you go. As my beard turns gray.
yeah, exactly. I have like 100 more grays than I had last week. Yeah, they're there. I promise. Yeah, and
That's
some is
funny.
missing. Yeah, so yeah, it was no good. But yeah, super update this week. So as you know, we talked about it last week. We fired that horrible garbage agent,
Yeah.
who I'm kind enough to not name. And it was not an easy firing. He literally tried to hold on and try and block us from buying the property for 5 months. And I said, yeah, that's not the best approach. So we had a quick conversation about accountability. And surprisingly, we got a document back that said you released. So
Nice.
we quickly got it over to a broker that I do business with, because as I've said from the beginning, a great broker is worth their weight in gold, and a garbage one isn't worth 100th of what you pay them. So
Amen.
this guy was a great broker. We got him engaged. We let him know exactly where the deal was. We said, this is where it is. This is who you're dealing with. This is what the stats are. All of those numbers. Keep in mind, the original offer for us was 270K. We were certainly willing to go up, but we couldn't get any counter. We got 2 counters from the seller. Both of them were full list at 315, which we all knew. And I said last week was basically like getting a big bouquet of middle fingers.
Absolutely.
They don't like you, they don't respect you, and poo-poo on your dealio. So we got back engaged, and we basically went back to them and said, all right, we're willing to step up, but we want to try and progress this deal. So we had the whole strategy session with the broker, like any good broker would do. You want to empower them to be on the phone. That way, if they're having dialogue with the selling broker, you don't know how powerful that selling broker is. He might be very powerful. And if he shows you strength, then you need to be able to respond with strength. So we went in at 285 on the 315, but we went in at 285. The broker covered all of the ideas that we had from all of the deductions that we had taken on the property based on deferred maintenance that had not been done. We were in at 285, but then we asked for closing costs, which are going to be about $10,000. So we were really only going to 275, basically.
Okay. I like it.
Yep. They responded back with 305. So when the broker who got fired said to us when he got fired, you're not getting this below list. They are stuck on that price. They will hold it before they will sell it to you. Mental note, brokers don't know much in many cases, and certainly the bad ones. And this is what he had proved to be, was a bad one.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So
All right.
I know Mike can't take this many nasty things being said about an individual. So I know he's like he's dying right now.
You haven't named him, so it doesn't matter. You named him, then I'd go.
Yeah.
Then I'd be losing it.
Mike's hugging him on the inside, and I'm still kicking him in the ass.
Kicking him.
Yeah. I'm just like relentless. So then the crazy thing is so then they come back at that 305. That's fine. We're at 285. And I said, all right. And I said, well, then let's do one last best and final. We do a best and final 305, but they pay closing. So it basically gets us to 295.
Okay.
And more importantly, we have to bring some money to the table, but very, very, very little, because it's an FHA.
Yeah.
3.5. And they're letting us do a $35K streamline, $35,000 streamline loan. So that means there's going to be a little bit more time added to this, because we have to get quotes for that $35,000 worth of work that's going to happen that will then roll into the mortgage. And if you don't understand any of the things I just said, then you should be buying Mike's course and watching the 4321, my stuff, the Lumberjack Landlord on the 4321, and talking about those 203K loans that are very, very sexy. But we go back and forth through the entire thing. They come back within 24 hours. They accept at 305, them covering all closing. 295 on a 315 in this market.
That's amazing, because your broker did his job.
He did his job. He listened. He even said to me when I sent him all the paperwork that we'd put together on this thing, when I worked with my student, I sent him the full list justification of here's what needs doing, here's the deferred maintenance, here's all the work that needs to be taken care of. Some of it we understand is a 30-year thing, but still it needs repairing in the next few years. We can see that. And rated the property fairly. He took all of that information. His exact words to me after I finished and after he saw the email was, "Thank you for doing my job for me." That's the response you want from your broker, because a good broker
Absolutely.
recognizes that's his job.
Yeah.
Now he
What I
got on the
really,
phone. Go ahead, Mike.
yeah, what
please.
I want people to realize is, I don't know this either broker.
Mhm.
The first broker, he probably spent more time inside his brokerage because he was new,
Yes,
trying to figure out what freaking form to use,
that's right.
right?
That's right.
The more experienced broker spent more time talking to the listing agent,
That's correct.
right? One was looking internal, getting his feet wet, but learning on the client's dime, which is not what you want.
Nope.
The other one was working for you,
That's right.
you know, communicating, seeing where they can bob and weave. And oh, by the way, you saved $20,000. So
Yeah.
there you go.
And even better is that in having that conversation with the new broker, it was one conversation. He understood exactly where we were at. He knew that we had some room to grow. The most
Mhm.
important thing to us was that we not have to bring money to the table or as little as possible.
Mhm.
And the second thing was that we wanted to make sure that we could do a 203K streamline loan.
Yep.
Because
Communication.
we
Yep.
wanted to make sure we articulated to him and he understood us and listened. Most importantly, he listened to us as to what we needed most in the deal.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better. And we still have inspections, which hopefully we don't find anything sideways in the inspections. But if we do, we
Yeah.
get to go back and have a quick conversation with them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really key. Again, you were going to do an FHA 203K loan. So you've got to tell the seller that they've got to know, they've got to communicate. Hey, oh, by the way, it's a little bit longer.
Sure.
But we will keep you informed and, up to date during the process. So I'm just so excited for you.
Yeah.
But really excited for your student.
Very much.
Your brother-in-law.
Yeah. Yeah. Good kid. 25 years old. And he's buying his first rental property.
Damn, man, that was
and he got a
way
4
earlier
unit,
than me.
a 4 unit for under 300K. Like
amazing.
And
Just
he's gonna move in and he will get paid to live there. Paid to live
baller.
There. Oh,
baller.
Just yeah. And I told him, I go, don't spend all that money. You need to save it up because you got to do number 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Where's number 3?
Yeah, you got to do your 3. You got to do your 3 unit after this, and then your 2 unit, and then your single family. So he's pumped. We're pumped. But guys, the whole reason that we wanted to take you through this awful pain is that don't be afraid to fire a bad agent. Just don't be. Let them go. Let them figure it out. It's not your job to be on the job training. That's largely, and in many cases, why you could be losing deal after deal after deal, is because they don't know how to properly negotiate the deal. And so make sure that you get with a seasoned professional that knows the type of property that you're trying to buy, knows the area very well. And maybe even you get lucky and you see, he says, oh yeah, I've actually dealt with this agent before. This wasn't the case in this particular case, but there was respect there. There was honorability there. And so they were instantly willing to deal with him and work the numbers. Unlike anybody else, they were willing to finally work the numbers with him because of how he presented himself. So, Mike, any other thoughts on this one before we wrap it up?
No, I just think you did a great thing for your brother-in-law. I'm just so happy for you.
I appreciate it. He's worked hard, and I'm excited to see him put his money to work. And it was nice to see we've got a couple of other people in the same process. So seeing people just much like what you were with one rental at a time, seeing people actually implement the model and see how much it's going to change their lives. Like, yeah, this is a
cool feeling.
Made of. Yeah, it's what we do this for, right?
Amen.
I mean, aside from the massive endorsement deals that we all have and the massive massive YouTube dollars.
That is hilarious.
I still have to use a token on the bus. So yeah, it's awesome. So Mike, tell us all where we can find you, my friend.
Do me a favor, go to One Rental at a Time in your Google search bar. It should be easy to find. Yeah,
don't miss it. And even just as much fun is if you can watch it like during the week, kind of whenever. But the Saturday morning sing-along is nothing short of spectacular. It's a lot of fun. And I think it's 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m.?
8 a.m. 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Pacific.
So it's 11 o'clock Eastern. That's usually right when one of my kids is ready to eat. And so we throw it on the TV and the kids go, Mr. Zuber, Mr. Zuber.
That's
And
awesome.
so, yeah, it's a good time. We're starting them off right, Mike. If they are mean people, they'll at least be financially literate mean people. So,
you're just worried about one side of the equation. I got it.
I
You
mean,
let the wife take care of the other one.
fingers crossed they're nice. More importantly, I'd like them to be financially literate.
Fair enough.
So Mike, thanks so much for this. We'll get into the third segment, which is something you guys don't want to miss. Make sure you subscribe because Mike and I put a ton of effort and energy into this content, but make sure you subscribe. But even cooler is our third segment, 10 reasons not to buy in this market. Like, is this record ever going to stop playing? Like, if you listen to these guys a year and a half ago, 2 years, you wouldn't have bought, you would have missed 20%. Like, and the average, that's $33,000 on average for a person who took out more. Wow. Like,
and if you own four, that's like 120 grand.
And you did it you did it in a year by doing nothing other than having done your investments work. Like, priceless. All right, my friend, we will see you on the 3rd.
Yep.
Right.